The disciples sat beneath the Bodhi tree, waiting for the Blessed One to speak. His presence was like the quiet before dawn. Buddha's voice was soft, yet it carried through the grove. A home is more than walls, he began. His eyes steady. A dwelling reflects the mind. Clutter mirrors attachment. Silence reflects understanding. To live consciously, one must shape their space with awareness. He looked at his disciples, each absorbed in his words. Have you seen Sumitra, the monk who built a hut in solitude? They nodded. Sumitra was known for his serenity. His dwelling a simple structure embraced by nature's rhythms. Sumitra did not seek luxury, the Buddha continued. He built not with greed, but with wisdom, using only what was necessary. His hut had no excess, only the essentials. His hands did not grasp for more, nor did his mind hunger for possession. Each morning, he swept the ground mindfully, watching how the dust settled, understanding the impermanence of all things. One day, a great storm approached. Winds roared, trees bent. The village feared destruction. People clung to their homes in terror. But Sumitra sat inside his hut, unshaken, listening to the wind, seeing not destruction, but nature's dance with impermanence. When the storm passed, many homes had fallen, their walls broken, their roofs collapsed under the weight of fear. But Sumitra's hut remained standing, untouched, not because it was strong, but because it was built in harmony, not resistance. The disciples listened, their eyes reflecting understanding. Buddha continued, a space must breathe, must reflect balance, must exist without clinging to permanence. A home burdened with excess seeks protection from time. Yet time cannot be halted. To cling is to suffer. To build with awareness is to accept the flow of life. To structure without attachment is to truly be at peace. Many see a home as a fortress, shielding them from change. But change will come, whether invited or resisted. Sumitra understood. His dwelling was an extension of his mind, open, simple, unburdened by the weight of desire. A hut is not merely wood and earth. It is an intention. A space shaped by understanding becomes a sanctuary. A conscious living space is not separate from the heart. It is a reflection of its inhabitant's state of mind. If the mind is restless, the space is chaotic. If the heart is open, the space is welcoming, free of burden. One does not require wealth to live consciously, only awareness. It is not luxury but wisdom that creates harmony in living. The disciples bowed their heads, absorbing his teaching. The air was still, yet full of meaning. Buddha looked upon them, his voice gentle. What, then, is your dwelling? Is it a space of fear or understanding? To live consciously is not merely to sit in silence. Master, I feel anger toward one who has wronged me. I cannot release it, he admitted. Buddha closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them. The world moves. The mind moves. The space we create must flow. A home is not meant to confine. It is a vessel through which wisdom can be cultivated. Where simplicity can thrive. Those who shape their space with greed build prisons. Those who build with awareness create freedom, regardless of what surrounds them. So do not ask how much you possess. Ask instead, how much peace resides within your space, within your heart. The disciples murmured softly, recognizing the depth of his words. They saw now that a home was not mere shelter. It was the reflection of the self, a mirror of intention, a place where truth could be nurtured, not obscured. Buddha rose, his robes shifting like water. Let your dwelling be light, like the breath of wind upon the earth. He stepped forward, his path undisturbed, his presence like the steady flame of a lamp, gentle, unwavering, full of knowing. The disciples followed, carrying his words within them, each thought like a seed planted deep within the soil of their minds. Another day, another lesson beneath the Bodhi tree. The disciples gathered, eager to hear the words of the Blessed One. Buddha's eyes were calm, reflecting the gentle movement of leaves. The disciple watched the current. It carries away all things, never looking back. Many believe peace is found in solitude alone, Buddha said. But true peace is cultivated within, regardless of one's surroundings. A young disciple spoke. Master, how can one remain undisturbed in a place filled with distraction and endless voices? Buddha smiled, then gestured toward a quiet corner. An elderly woman sat, weaving baskets, her hands moving with effortless grace. She is surrounded by sound, yet her heart remains unmoved. She carves a sanctuary in her space wherever she sits. The disciples watched, though the marketplace roared around her. She worked with steady rhythm, absorbed in her simple task. She does not resist the world's movement, Buddha continued. Instead, she allows it to pass, untouched by its chaos. When we believe silence alone brings peace, we mistake stillness for absence. But peace is presence, not retreat. If you carry stillness within, even the busiest place will feel light, undisturbing, like leaves floating upon water. Noise does not create suffering. Attachment to silence does. When the heart clings to conditions, it loses its freedom. Buddha watched the disciples absorb his words. The wind shifted, carrying the scent of fresh bread from the market stalls. This woman understands, he continued. Her weaving is meditation, her awareness undisturbed. She exists but does not grasp. A true conscious space is not merely quiet. It is created by awareness, by knowing where the mind rests. The young disciple bowed his head. Master, how does one practice this? How does one shape a space of stillness within? Buddha touched the earth beside him, fingers pressing into soft soil. First, one must observe, without judgment, without resistance. The marketplace hums with life. The chatter of voices, the ringing of coins, the shifting of footsteps, all are simply passing. If you resist, frustration arises. If you accept, you become the silent observer, unaffected yet present. Each breath is a gateway, each movement an opportunity to return to awareness. The woman weaves but does not wander. She does not wish for silence. She does not desire escape. She is here, fully, without grasping or rejecting. The disciples closed their eyes, listening, not to silence, but to presence, to the rhythm of life moving without attachment. Buddha continued, one does not need a temple to find peace. One only needs intention, awareness, and the willingness to let go. A space becomes sacred through presence, through careful attention to each moment, each breath, each movement. The woman set down her basket, hands resting gently in her lap, eyes reflecting quiet understanding. She was free, and the disciples understood a quiet space is not the absence of sound, but the presence of undisturbed awareness. Buddha rose, his robes flowing like water. Wherever you step, create your sanctuary, not outside, but within. And so, the lesson ended, leaving the disciples with a new understanding. The marketplace was no longer a disturbance. It was simply life unfolding. And they, like the woman, could choose to weave their peace into its movement. Another day, another lesson unfolded beneath the Bodhi tree. The disciples gathered, eager for wisdom, the air filled with quiet anticipation. Buddha looked upon them with gentle eyes. Today, we speak of sacred spaces, not of stone and pillars, but of intention. A villager approached, bowing deeply. Master, where should we build a temple? A place where wisdom may be shared among many? Buddha smiled, then raised his hand toward the sky. A temple need not have walls. It is built in the heart. The sacred exists where kindness is practiced, where wisdom flows freely, where compassion is given without expectation of return. The disciples exchanged glances, considering his words. They had expected instructions on bricks and wood, yet he spoke only of spirit. A conscious living space is not confined, Buddha continued. It is shaped by how we walk, how we listen, how we share. A house built with greed will crumble. A temple constructed without understanding will remain lifeless, empty of true refuge. The walls do not sanctify the space. It is the intention carried within that makes a place sacred, whole. The villagers pondered his teaching. They had sought to build something grand, yet now understood that vastness was found in presence. Wherever wisdom is practiced, a temple exists. A home filled with harmony becomes a refuge. No matter how small, Buddha looked upon the village, the humble homes, the well-trodden paths where life unfolded in simple beauty. A structure alone does not create peace. It is the breath of those within that gives meaning, that allows a space to live. The temple is in the way we speak, the way we listen, the way we offer refuge to those in need. A home where truth is spoken without fear is a temple. A marketplace where honesty thrives is a temple. The villagers nodded, realizing their sacred space was not yet to be built. It was already alive in their daily practice. Buddha closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, letting the wind carry the scent of the earth, the rhythm of life. When one understands this, there is no searching for peace. It is already here, already within, waiting only to be recognized. The disciples listened, their minds clear, their hearts lighter. They now saw the world as a temple unfolding in every moment. Buddha rose, his presence unwavering, his steps light. Walk upon the earth as though every step is upon sacred ground. And so, the lesson ended, but its truth remained, woven into the lives of those who heard, carried in the spaces they shaped. To grasp is to lose, he says, his hands open. To empty oneself is to receive everything without resistance. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.